The era of apologizing to the mob is over. Sydney Sweeney just did an interview and took the internet by storm.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority.
White people should hate themselves. You should all just die. That's what she meant to say.
Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Absolute cinema. We have reached the timeline where you could just tell the virtue signaling odious reporters to fuck off. And they do that. It's absolute cinema. Dude, the meme faces are amazing. You're not apologizing? No, I'm not. And it just doesn't stop there. The Anakin meme. Recreated. Reduce the prison population. You mean by freeing prisoners, right? You mean by freeing prisoners, right? It's just perfect. Now, if you look at the replies to this meme, it works. Vance Sweeney, 2028, stares in superiority. For far too long, there has been this culture shift where you're allowed to only be racist against specific people. And those people that don't really like it so much when you're not allowed to be racist to anyone except for them, are fighting back, So, no, I'm not a fan of white supremacy, but I am a fan of white supremacy memes. This is the Nux stance. It's unbelievable. The queen of Karens, Karen raid boss, instantly defeated with a simple fuck off. Join.ice.gov. Bro, that's diabolical. Join ICE, Sydney Sweeney. Holy shit. Bathing suit of the average Sydney Sweeney hater. That's where we're at. You can actually just tell the mob to fuck off. Now, the craziest part is, she brings up in this interview directly the fact that Donald Trump praised Sydney Sweeney. And as we know, Donald Trump, he's just Orange Hitler. Everyone's supposed to hate him, especially in the media. Right?
I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad, or truthful about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment.
You know, he's like a Hitler fascist. We shouldn't be like looking at him. She looks at her fellow girl boss. She thinks that every single white woman is automatically retarded because, I mean, realistically, the white female liberal is probably the most dangerous creature on the planet right now. They hold the voting abilities in a vice grip, and then they vote to import people to rape and kill them and then blame Trump. So realistically, the liberal white woman is probably one of the most dangerous creatures on the planet. So she looks at a fellow white woman and immediately assumes, well, she must be a liberal too, because we must work together in girl boss society. We must hate Trump for existing.
For anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
Bro, she's glowing! She's thrilled. She's glowing. She's thrilled. It was surreal. The president complimented her jeans ad.
Surreal.
And the people just cannot fathom this. This is a pretty crazy time in history. Not just is it like a gigantic end of the line moment for woke culture in general, but it's actually so much worse than they think. Nicki Minaj, another one of woke's strongest defenders, another girl boss, has absolutely followed the Trump train. Flattering photos are allowed to be posted of me again. Thanks, President Trump, because realistically, the war on hot women has been waged for a very long time. They were removed from all forms of video games and media. We were taught that fat is beautiful and that women should actually kill themselves. We were taught that femininity is something to run away from. You should abort your children. You should sterilize your children. Do everything you possibly can to remove basic femininity and basic masculinity from society. This homogenous gender blob is why, realistically, the Democrats absolutely crapped their pants in the last election. I'm not even exaggerating. There's an obvious biological difference between men and women. This trans mental illness that took over society did not do anyone any favors. I mean, look at the suicide rate. It obviously didn't do anybody any favors at all, actually. But the reality is, it just basically told women you're not allowed to be women. It told men you're not allowed to be men. And it turned everyone into these amorphous homunculi. So Nicki Minaj is also very happy about this, that the war on hot women has ended. In fact, Nicki Minaj directly endorsed Trump just last week, because Trump basically made a pretty insane statement. Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. I've been reporting on this for like a year. I'm so happy Trump is finally talking about it. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I'm hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern, but that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,400 worldwide, something must be done. I'm asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with their chairman Tom Cole, and the House Appropriations Committee to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. Let me make this clear. I don't want boots on the ground in other nations. I am fully supportive of bombing the fuck out of people that are mass killing innocents. I'm glad we're on the same page. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Nicki Minaj. This is insane. Pop star, you know, Nicki Minaj, 30 million followers. Reading this made me feel a deep sense of gratitude. We live in a country where we can freely worship God. God has re-entered the mainstream conversation, ladies and gentlemen. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Numerous countries all around the world are being affected by this horror. This horror is just radical Islam. She didn't want to say that because obviously if she's Islamophobic, it would deeply offend Zohran Mamdani's aunt. It's dangerous to pretend we don't notice. The noticing is happening. Thank you, President and his team, for taking this seriously. God bless every persecuted Christian. Amen. Let's remember to lift them up in prayer. So Nicki Minaj comes out, a woman of God, despite everything, despite all of the things, a woman of God, fighting for justice, fighting for God, fighting for America, and directly endorsing Donald Trump. That's crazy. Now, Nicki Minaj has also become a world leader on a tactical stage. This is Kanye West, all right? Kanye West meeting up with a rabbi, Rabbi Pinto. He's mystical type Kabbalist guy. It's actually, he's I don't know, I've met him in person actually. He's a super nice dude actually. But anywho, so Kanye West went to meet up with this guy actually to apologize for all the stuff he said about Jews.
I feel really blessed to be able to sit here with you today and just take accountability. I was dealing with some various issues and dealing with bipolar also. So it would take the ideas I had and have me take them to an extreme where I would forget about the protection of the people around me and myself. So I wanted to come and take accountability. Sometimes people aren't that knowledgeable about the bipolar and the cause.
I said he had bipolar for years, actually. A lot of people actually came at me why I'm like, why I criticize Candace Owens more than I criticize Kanye West. And the reason is because Kanye West has like an actual mental disorder. Like he has an actual chemical imbalance in his brain. And I don't think he, on an individual level, is a bad person. That's what I've always said. So I'm really like happy to see this kind of thing. Like, he's had his moments of clarity. I remember he was on Candace Owens' show and they asked him why he hated Jews. And he said he hated Jews because Jews don't abort their babies and because Jews do stick together and my people don't. That's what he said. But then you ask him another time why he hates Jews and he's just like, oh, my N-word's Heil Hitler. you get some sort of different wavelengths every once in a while.
Or what causes it and the way you act when you have this disease. So it's like if you left the house and you left your kid at the house and your kid went and messed up the kitchen and messed up the garage and messed up the living room. Now when you get back, it's your responsibility because that's your child. And that's the way I look at it. It's like I gotta go clean up the kitchen, clean up the living room.
This is crazy.
Yeah, and it's a big deal for me as a man to come and take accountability for all the things that I've said, and I really just...
It's very difficult not to sin. It's even harder to repent for your sins. And this is unbelievable that he's doing this, to be honest. It's a really nice thing to do.
Appreciate you embracing me with open arms and allowing me to make amends. And this is the beginning and the first steps and the first brick by brick to build back the strong walls.
Le rabbi said that the Judaism,
הנה לעולם היא את התשובה.
Judaism brought to the world a way for someone when he regret about something that he has done wrong.
It's not a direct translation. Repentance is what he actually said. He said that repentance is a very seminal concept in Judaism. Not just regret, repent, which is a different word.
היהדות חיה על התשובה.
And the Jews live on this way of if someone did something wrong, he can regret and fix it.
But he's mistranslating. It's not regret, it's repent. There's a difference. Regretting is one part of repenting. All right, the way you repent is you acknowledge you made a mistake, you regret you make the mistake, and then you take upon yourself not to make that mistake. That's repenting. Regretting is just one step. I think he's just mistranslating. I don't think English is his first language.
מחבקים ורבים.
And the rabbi is hugging you and hugging everybody, and God willing,
אבא יהיה
and from now on,
דברים חזקים וטובים,
strong things and good things,
רק טוב.
and only good.
בן אדם טוב.
You are a very good man.
All right, well, the rabbi says he's a good man. Who are we to disagree? You know, all my homies. Okay, all right, all my N words. HH. We're not doing that. Anyway, so Nicki Minaj responded to this. All right, once again, the girl boss era of actual attractive women deciding to come out and support the conservative movement is insane. So happy to see Kanye publicly take accountability for the pain his words may have caused to so many, standing with our Jewish brothers and sisters. And if you look at the replies on this tweet, it's absolute insanity. All right, it's absolute insanity. It's like a struggle section of the worst people down there. You get some people be like, yo, this is awesome. And then you get some people down here being like, no, he was the chosen one. No. But anyway, nothing but respect. So anyway, this is a slightly longer version of the Sydney Sweeney interview because woke is dead. And you actually can just tell people to fuck off, which is diabolical. And I'm so happy to see that, honestly, it's like 81% of young women in New York voted for Zohran Mamdani, radical Islamist communist. It's really just nice to see that there are female role models that are actually publicly taking an alternate viewpoint, which is just, in my opinion, important. And next we just have to completely de-radicalize every college system ever, and anyone that has a nose ring should not be allowed to vote. Anyway, so let's see a little longer clip of this interview.
I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
Yeah,
You look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad, Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and
the culture.
that just seems to me
culture is swinging,
like
baby.
a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal, and it would be totally human. I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public, you know, and conveniently some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
Bro, look at her trying to put words in her mouth. Not that you, God forbid, like Trump. You know, he's a Hitler, Nazi, fascist, rapist, misogynist, Epstein Island guy. Not that you, God forbid, like him or think that he's doing something good for this country. But, like, I think it's really important for you to, like, at least acknowledge that it's nice to have someone powerful on your side.
I don't think that, it's not that feeling I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day.
That's right, baby.
So
That's right, baby. You put your phone away. The retards screaming on the internet, they're irrelevant. They don't matter.
Working like 16-hour days, and I don't really bring my phone on set. So I work and then I go home and I go to sleep. So I didn't really see a lot of it.
You've made a really good case for keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, you know,
And she keeps trying to push. The reporter is needling her, trying so hard to get something.
there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues.
Bro, it's an ad for jeans. I'm going to show you the ad in a second just to show you how retarded this is.
And feel like I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
Do you worry that people are going to read into little things that don't mean anything and come up with giant delusional problems in their head, and then they're going to decide to hate you because they're going to make believe you're a Nazi because your name is Sydney Sweeney, with both start with S, and the SS was Nazi brigades, and also you're white, and also you have good genes, and also you're attractive like Nazis?
No.
No, just shut down, fly swatted, no.
No.
Yeah.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like
In this political climate, we're supposed to hate white people, which is why we're importing people from around the world to replace us. That's literally the plan. Get on board, girl boss.
people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like, that was kind of like the criticism.
Can I just say that I have genetic superiority to every single guy that has genetic diseases in their life, because thank God I don't have any genetic diseases. Since I have no genetic diseases, I am genetically superior to the people that do have genetic diseases, actually. This is just a fact. You might hate it. I have superior genes to 1/4 of the Muslim world, because 1/4 of them are inbred. All right, that might sound racist, but hey, if Zoran Mandani's aunt, if you were watching, I meant nothing. I meant nothing by it.
Broadly speaking, and since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to
I'm gonna give you a platform to apologize to the woke mob.
talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
Oh, well, completely destroyed. You can actually just tell reporters to fuck off. Diabolical. Vance Sweeney, 28. Now, this response went nuclear levels of viral. Sydney Sweeney rejects apology for Grey Jeans ad in GQ interview. Sydney Sweeney didn't apologize for being a beautiful, white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman. And some people are so mad about it. Lol. That's right. Blue Eyes White Dragon is, in fact, superior to Red Eyes Black Dragon. Of course, this is, oh shit, she might actually be racist because she refused to get on her knees and grovel and apologize for an innocuous ad, which I'll show you in a minute. 163,000 likes. Diabolical. Oh my God. In this political climate, as a white woman, I want to give you an opportunity to apologize for saying you have good genes. No. No! This simple no is just so diabolical. Hey, so do you want to disavow white supremacy real quick? That's not what she said. No, decade of the chud. But, dude, it's crazy. It's insane. It's diabolical. Dude, these faces, they're so iconic. They're so iconic. I'm going to give you the opportunity to grovel and ask for forgiveness. No. Sydney Sweeney does have great genes, in fact. And that is the reality that some people do not want to contend with. So let me show you the actual ad. So you might think that some of this backlash is being fabricated now. You know, very often leftists specifically like saying, oh, I remember when Joe Biden won and there were literally people crying on the streets. No, that didn't happen. It was mostly people afraid that our country was going to fall into ruin, and to be fair, it almost did. But no, there wasn't really major crying, and if there was, those guys are pussies. But anywho, the point of the matter is, this is the actual ad, and people were crying.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Oh, the zoom in.
And I definitely won't.
Bro, the lean over.
Comfortable.
They know what they're doing. This is after 5 years of woke slop. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm not trying to sound racist here or anything. I am just telling you, I don't remember the last time there was an ad for some clothes where the supermodel wasn't an obese 400-pound diabetic black woman that was cross-eyed. I don't remember the last time it happened. And this literally blew the lid off the world.
Both jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
Right, so Sydney Sweeney has great jeans, obviously a play on the words that A, she's wearing jeans, and this is an ad for jeans, and the other play on the words is that she is hot and has big boobs. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you got the pun. Good genes because she's attractive, and attractive women tend to have good genes, at least if attractiveness is the barometer for good in this scenario. Now, obviously, the backlash was crazy because of another ad where she basically said something a little more, let's just say, insightful.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Right, her jeans are blue, double pun, because on the one hand, she's wearing blue jeans, and on the other hand, she has blue eyes, which is genetics that gets you to decide if your eyes are blue. My eyes are blue. You know why? Because my parents' eyes are blue. That's called genetics. So, you know, that's where we at. So, Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
So obviously the woke retards decided to take this as a whole other social commentary. How in fact, blue-eyed white people are the superior race. This is Nazism! And honestly, the meltdowns to this day are some of my favorite woke meltdowns of all time. They really are. Like, I have a tier list of different cataclysmic events that happen in society that cause woke meltdowns. The Sydney Sweeney is an S tier woke apocalypse. Maybe A tier. Maybe Donald Trump winning the election is S tier. I feel like that is obviously the number one. That's the zenith. Trump winning the election. One of the top 10 is probably the Sydney Sweeney woke meltdown. So here are all the cows with nose rings decide to get offended because a woman is attractive getting the attention of men. And the reality is, all these woke women that don't actually understand what like society is all about, and they're all going to die alone because they're aborting their children and they're girl bosses that refuse to get married and settle down. They don't realize the fact that they hate themselves. And now, in order to make themselves feel better, they have to hate on other women. Because realistically, you think she is not literally doing all this to get attention? Please. You think the nose ring, lip ring, red glasses, fucking tattoos everywhere, you don't think that's to get attention? Of course it is. Of course it is. Absolutely. She's just not willing to acknowledge the fact that it's ingrained in every woman to want attention of men, just like it's ingrained in every man to want women.
You guys are complaining about
Well, most men.
that Sydney Sweeney jeans ad, so I went and saw it. That's Nazi propaganda. Wow.
Yeah. Whoa!
I thought it was gonna be like
Whoa!
kind of bad. That's gonna be in history book.
Hey, you want
Pose mad, ladies and gentlemen.
to go to American Eagle?
Oh, I can't go in there because I'm black.
Yeah, where did it say that? All right.
Don't forget to boycott American Eagle for their racist.
Oh,
shit
God, the
online,
meltdown.
talking
They're so
about
good.
blue jeans and white people. Boycott American Eagle.
What's wrong with blue jeans and white people?
Boycott the shit out of them. Boycott American.
Look at all these Karens. Look at them so mad. I don't know, man. If you get mad at like Sydney Sweeney ad, I don't think you should have the right to vote, to be honest. Like there needs to be we need to do something about the fact that we are being beholden to an army of retards that are voting. All right? There is a problem in society.
Not buy them and cancel this person, Miss Sweeney.
Cancel her! Cancel her! Cancel culture's dead. Didn't you realize you could just tell these people to fuck off now?
Cancel for her being racist, for doing Nazi propaganda. Cancel American Eagle.
That's right. Looking attractive is Nazi propaganda, which kind of implies that every ugly person is a non-Nazi, which kind of also implies that there is a benefit to Nazism. I don't know who the real Nazi is.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this?
Bitch, you literally have a pedophile flag in your background and you're wearing a nose ring. What are we talking about? Why would anyone ever take you seriously?
Probably not, but it's still really shocking. Like, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman is talking about her good genes.
I love how you're like not allowed to talk about specific things if you're specific races. Do you realize this is just segregation with extra steps? Like saying that black people need a drink from specific water fountains is exactly the same as saying that white people are not allowed to talk in public about anything, to be honest, that regards to being white. It's the same idea. It really is. It's reverse racism, which is just racism all over again.
Like, that is Nazi propaganda.
And they're all repeating the Nazi propaganda line again and again.
They're literally saying the quiet part out loud, but was it ever truly quiet when you're wearing dumbass merch like this? I mean, real.
Make America great again? That seems like a pretty innocuous statement. Unless, obviously, you hate America.
Make America great again. When was America ever great?
It's the greatest nation that ever existed, and you should leave if you don't think so. I don't know why you'd be in America if you don't think so. It's the greatest nation in the history of the world. What are you talking about? Stopped multiple wars, obviously, abolished slavery, did lots of amazing things.
Their definition of greatness was when this country was full of white supremacists and that slavery still existed. And now,
well, also to abolish slavery. Also, slavery literally existed everywhere. I don't know what this barometer is.
we have this interesting ad with a play on words where we pass on blue genes to those genetically with blue eyes.
That's true.
I mean, it's no accident that Sydney Sweeney's initials are SS.
What are you talking about? You think when Sydney Sweeney was born and they put Sydney Sweeney on her birth certificate, the dad was like, yeah, she's gonna do Nazi propaganda.
Since Sydney Sweeney decided to do that little ad she did, I want to find some alternatives to Aerie. really need new underwear. So if anyone could give me some recommendations, that would be great, because I do not want to support that mess.
The Sydney Sweeney and Eagle ad is not only xenophobic and racist, it's also scientifically inaccurate. She says genes often determine hair color and eye color. I'm sorry, often? That's literally what they do.
That's what you're canceling for? You're canceling her for saying often?
If they're not determining hair color and eye color, what is?
I don't know, contact lenses or dye. So when you see someone in the street with blonde hair, like a lot of the people that are culturally appropriating white culture by dyeing their hair white or bleach it or whatever, or blonde, all those people, you'll look at them, they have white hair. Now, that hair color is not defined by genes. That is defined by cultural appropriation, to use your terms.
It's giving red pill podcast bro with no marketing experience clearly running their ad department.
Anyway, they made hundreds of millions of dollars off this ad, so I don't know about that.
And I just hate when companies make content trying to use medical or scientific terms and then completely fuck it up. Like, it's not that hard to Google what genes do, how DNA works. Do genes often determine our traits, or do they always determine our traits?
So you're saying that her genes are what made her superior? Is that what you're saying? That her superiority just comes from her genes? Okay.
That got me too.
She's crying! She's crying over Sydney Sweeney's ad.
And I don't know why. Maybe
oh
because
my
it's just
god!
So
These people suck! Dude, I'm telling you, man, there is an underclass of society that is literally being fed slop, and they believe this shit. They really do.
I keep thinking that people just are not gonna believe us until we're hung out there, but then even then, I feel like they'll be like, oh no. Kind of like they are with...
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and...
Oh, also, another reason why I'm sorry for being all nerdy on the almost line. If a kid's an albino, they'll have white hair, and that has nothing to do with genes, as an example. So it often does determine the hair color.
Even eye color. My genes are blue.
Yeah, so you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Look at her. A black woman, literally hair dyed. You dyed your hair to look like you have white genes.
Doja Cat apparently goes into racist chat rooms and...
W. Anyway, it doesn't stop there. So anyway, now that you know that the actual situation happened, you have to understand how Sydney responded to the backlash. Her response to the backlash
Miss Sweeney right there.
was showing off her good genes even more. She went out there and she was like, yep, I do have good genes, actually.
And Sydney's straight ahead. And beautiful smile for the cover.
It's just this completely unapologetic aspect of her that's just absolutely diabolical. The Sydney Sweeney's ad shows cultural shift. Sydney Sweeney's great genes, American Eagle ad sparks backlash. Diabolical. And you know what the solution is? Not giving a fuck. All these hoes mad because people are paying attention to Sydney Sweeney and not them. Ultimately, what all these hoes with the nose rings want is a man to love and take care of them, and they're just afraid to admit it. So they have to go after Sydney Sweeney, who does get attention. Yeah, that's basically the response. The response to getting canceled is saying fuck off. I do that too. So Aspen Gold reacted to this.
Oh, geez. Okay, is this the full clip? All right, let me watch this. Apparently, this is so cringe.
For context, it's all about this jeans ad from a few months back.
Right.
Sydney Sweeney has very genes.
I can see why they're mad.
That is Nazi propaganda.
I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad. That just seems to me a very
Sydney Sweeney, registered Republican, has the hottest ad out there.
crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal. I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public. Some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
So she's trying to like make her implicitly align herself with Trump so
Correct.
she can make her look bad.
I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day. I don't really bring my phone on set. I work and then I go home and I go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about like, oh, if does the president
completely
agree with me about this ad that 15 fat women on Twitter are mad about?
But the risk is that, you know,
You're trying.
The risk.
not to have a political opinion, but I want to reiterate the fact that I'm going to just keep asking you leading questions that I'm going to use to imply what your political opinions are. The next one here is, do you like dead babies?
There's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues. What are we doing? And like, do you worry about that?
No.
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 The criticism of the content.
No.
Like, bro, you don't even need to go further. No need to elaborate. No.
Which was
y'all gay and retarded. Get a husband.
It's basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. Since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity. to talk about that.
I'm going to give you a platform to apologize to the woke mob.
That specifically.
I think that when
She just really tried. This is why everybody hates the media and they hate journalism, by the way.
I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
I wanted to give you an opportunity. You're not going to give her an opportunity. You're putting her in a weird place intentionally.
Dude, she has a platform. She has a social media account. If she ever wanted to say something, she could have said something. You're literally trying to, incite this shit. You're trying to get, honestly, you're trying to destroy her.
To try to make her push your social agenda. It's another obnoxious, annoying, tone policing Karen that's trying to cause discord and chaos in everybody's lives.
There it is.
That's it. We can see it. Yes. Isn't it so obnoxious?
Unironically, listen, man, I think that Hamas terrorists are terrible and they should be obliterated. They're rapists, pedophiles, slavers that murder anyone that they don't like, be it Jews or their own people in Gaza, and I hate them, and honestly, they should be annihilated. But they're not nearly as big of a threat to American future as Karens. I'm not even, exaggerating when I say the liberal white woman is easily top 3 threats to society, and I'm not even close. Like, these are the people that they are so emotionally driven. They have empathy to all the worst things. They're out here trying to fuck up society with their bullshit, because that's what they do. It's what they do. That's how they feel accomplished and fulfilled. Because realistically, I mean, look, are they gonna have empathy for their children like they should and feel fulfilled by having kids, having a husband, creating a next generation that could stand up and do something? No, they're literally taught to murder their own babies while pregnant and not get married and work until they're in their 40s, and then they literally can't have children half the time, and they fucking die alone with cats. That's where we're at in society. Welcome. So anyway, Actual Justice Warrior did a video on this, breaking it down, and apparently breaking down Trump got involved also after this. So I'm excited to see what this is all about. But this is just an amazing turning point for society. It really is. It really is. You can actually just say fuck you to the mob.
Okay, but so you're never tempted to just open your notes app and say, this is what I really think, and this is who I am, and this is what's going on in my life, and stop guessing.
But you're a girl boss. Shouldn't you be immediately telling everyone your opinions all of the time? No. Literally no. She's a model for a living. I think she does some acting. No. Actually no. Literally no. Literally her opinion is not worth anything to anyone. All right, this is a really hot take actually. But no, I don't care about anybody's opinion except for my own. All right? Realistically, or people who matter. All right? Unless your opinion matters, I don't care about it. Sorry, and same for you. You should listen to other people's opinions and points of view so that you could hone your own life and worldview and perspective. Read the Bible, all right? Develop some sort of moral system, all right, that works in your head. That matters to you. It doesn't matter to me. I'm sorry, don't mean to be rude, but listen, if you hoe around for a living or whatever, you're selling your body, you're doing stuff like that, no, your political stance on life is actually completely irrelevant. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
And projecting.
I mean, I'll vent to my girlfriends, but other than that, no.
But yeah, we hang out with friends. We say our opinions. The world doesn't need to hear Sydney Sweeney's stance on healthcare and deportations of illegal immigrants. No one cares.
No.
Okay. That's honestly really impressive.
I know who.
It's really impressive. You're a girl boss. You're supposed to nag people. Nagging is what we do.
I am.
Right.
I know what I value. I know.
That's it. And this is what everyone fears. Everyone tells modern women, you have to know who you are. You have to embrace who you actually are. You have to love yourself. But only if you could do it in a way that virtue signals to other people to tell them how they're doing something wrong. Which is ironic because she is doing so much more of what I would think is empowering for women. Being successful, being attractive, having a boyfriend, I don't know if she's trying to build a family or not or whatever. It's not really my business. I don't actually really care, to be honest. She's not some sort of moral pariah in our time. It's just really funny that she's just accidentally doing all the things that women tell you you're supposed to be doing, except she doesn't have that Karen baggage.
That I'm a kind person. I know that I love a lot, and I know that I'm just excited to see what happens next.
She's just like a normal person, and they can't stand it. That's the craziest part. I don't think she's some sort of intellectual juggernaut. I just think she's a normal person, and that's it.
And so I don't really let other people define who I am.
I'm happy to hear that. I love secondhand concern for you lately.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I
was so concerned that you weren't a strong, independent woman, and now I'm finding out that you are.
Talking around this American Eagle ad right now, and maybe we should just talk about it. So, were you surprised by the reaction?
So one of the reasons why the left wing ends up winning in the long term in terms of culture wars is due to the fact that they have a commitment to longevity in terms of the fight. Even if
That's right. Accountability. The fact that they're bringing up he really good point. The fact that they're even bringing up this American Eagle ad that happened 6 months ago right now in an interview is because they will never forget. She failed the purity test, and for the rest of time, she will be held accountable for it. She was labeled a Nazi, and she will always be labeled a Nazi. And same happened to me, and probably the same to all of you. And the next time the left comes into power, expect it to be absolutely brutal, because the pendulum is going to swing back at some point, unless it breaks.
they're losing something right off the jump, even if they're losing something for a couple of years, over time, they attempt to wear you down to enforce compliance against you and essentially to relentlessly punish any kind of actor that they perceive to be a bad actor for stepping out even slightly. A perfect example of this is Chick-fil-A. You guys might remember over a decade ago during the Obama administration, it came out that the founders of Chick-fil-A and the owners of Chick-fil-A were actually Christians. Now, everybody knew this already because Chick-fil-A was actually not open on Sundays, but they were actually donating to family-oriented organizations, donating money to campaigns against gay marriage, and the left decided in the 2010s that this absolutely was unacceptable, so they launched a boycott against the company. Now, of course, famously, Mike Huckabee, among many others, launched a counter boycott against them, and this was meant to strengthen Chick-fil-A to show that you would not lose.
Dude, we need to come together against cancel culture. We really do. And it's not just like cancel culture and this tone policing. Like, dude, free speech is super important. People have the right to their to say whatever they want to say. I have the right to think they're a complete retard for saying it, but they have the right to say it. That's why when I see a lot of people on the right, you know, relentlessly attacking Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes over that interview, I think that you need to have a fine line. You have every right to criticize him for, let's say, platforming someone with abhorrent viewpoints that he refuses to push back against. That is completely valid, and you have free speech to talk about that. However, this whole deplatforming thing, this whole cutting off thing, this whole... It hurts more than it helps. It hurts even your movement more than it helps. Like, you're only going to create a much larger enemy. It doesn't work, and it's disgusting. All right, so I am a big fan of freedom of speech. I think that, you know, Tucker Carlson has every right to interview whoever he wants. If you don't like it or the way he does it, you can criticize him for it. But this whole deplatforming thing, nah, dude, that's just, it's evil. This destruction, this forced speech, this enforced conversation, and I don't agree with Tucker Carlson on almost anything. I think he's a fraud. That's just my opinion. I think he's a bigger fraud than Nick Fuentes, for the record. But anyway, it's diabolical watching people jump on this, completely cancel him and ostracize him from society for doing an interview that we didn't like. Criticize the interview by all means, but you're hurting more than you're helping by partaking in this cancel campaign.
You had conservative values, and for a lot of people, this seemed like a clear and obvious victory. However, we've done stories on this channel how over a decade later, there are still left-wing legislatures that are going after the company, denying them access to places on the highway like rest stops or not letting them open up in airports.
That's crazy. New York bill will ban Chick-fil-A. That's crazy that they're still doing this. I didn't know that this was still going on to this extent. Like, I knew people on the internet were mad. That's insane. Because they were against gay marriage. Again, that's their freedom of speech. Everyone has freedom of speech. It's insane. And anyone that is against the entire system and the ability to speak is the enemy of America. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. If you want to completely and utterly destroy people for, honestly, speech that's not inciting violence and that's not illegal in any way, like, you know, communist propaganda or whatever else. You're an enemy of the actual vision of the founding of America.
And this is due to the fact that the left never forgets and never ever lets a vendetta go unsettled. And again, this is even after many people at Chick-fil-A started donating to pro-gay organizations in the intervening years. They still hold the grudge for the initial slight way back again during the Obama administration, where they crossed the line. And what we're seeing right here in this GQ interview with...
That's crazy. I didn't know this was still going on with Chick-fil-A. That's wild, man. I'm so happy that that there are enough normal people out there that are willing to actually say what they think. All right, Chick-fil-A, based as fuck. All right, you have my undying support. Your restaurants aren't kosher, so I won't eat there. But you have my undying support.
Sydney Sweeney, related to her jeans commercial, is that exact same mechanism of enforcement being utilized against her. And the thing is, eventually I am of the belief that Sydney Sweeney will come out as more left-wing publicly, start talking about politics a la Taylor Swift, due to the fact that this rigid ideological enforcement works. And in reality,
it does work because it also cucks you from your job, right? It's not going to let you do your job. They're going to constantly force you to bow to the mob infinitely, and, you know, they're not going to give you the opportunities that you deserve. And that was basically the entire stifling cancel movement of the last few decades. And you could now, finally, literally just tell them to fuck off.
The right wing does not have the staying power to support somebody like this against the onslaught of attacks. So this is what we're going to...
Because unfortunately, the establishment, the rigid establishment is left. It really is. The media establishment, and whether that's, you know, news media, as well as TV stations, as well as, you know, generic Hollywood people. It's all woke Jews. It's the woke Jews. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No, but realistically, it is. It is. We're living in an establishment where the hedonism that is, you know, floating to the top of all of these establishments and organizations is inherently a left-wing principle, because hedonism and debauchery is inherently leftist. I know this is probably going to piss off some retards, but the whole idea of, no, we do not have to adhere to a transcendent moral structure. We can actually do whatever we want. That is inherently hedonistic, and that is a liberal ideology. It is. It's I do whatever I want. I'm a consenting adult. He's a consenting adult. Everyone can do whatever the fuck they want. That is inherently liberal, and that is inherently anti-God.
Talk about today how this interview that's supposed to be about promoting a Sydney Sweeney film, promoting the next season of Euphoria, ultimately ended up churning into this crazy looking old lady complaining about Sydney's commercial, something that a lot of people thought was settled already, something that was over and done with, but in reality, in actuality, it's something that the left...
It's never over and done with. It's never over and done with. That's why the purity spiral is so diabolical. Because it's never over and done with. And the craziest thing is, like, you look at like leftist streamers, for example. They let them get away with everything because they have the right politics. Right? You have Destiny, large leftist streamer. In my opinion, he incites violence all the time against conservatives. He's also in middle of lawsuits for allegedly sharing and filming revenge porn of people. He also has allegedly filmed and kept porn of 17-year-olds on his computer. You have the other guy, you have Vosh, who's out there with giant folders of lolly horse porn caught on his computer, also promoting and inciting violence. You have Hassan Piker, direct support of terrorist organizations, you know, infinite dog torture. But these guys are fine. They have the right politics, so they will be embraced by the establishment. That doesn't matter. But if you have the wrong politics, they will hunt you forever.
Will never let go. But before we get into that, I want to thank everybody for...
To quote the rabbi that Kanye West was talking to, repentance is honestly something that only can exist in the framework of a religious dogma. Repentance is illogical. Repentance doesn't make sense. If you've done something, we should assume you'll do it again. Repentance is something that was given to us by God as a way to grow past the cringe shit that we have been into. At least that's my perspective. I'm sure that you have another one, and you think that you see it differently, and that's totally fine. That's just my perspective. I think repentance is inherently inherently believing in some sort of divinity, that you can actually grow past your past. So yeah, I definitely think that a lot of people on the right have done shitty things for sure, but they repent, and I could forgive them, and I hope you could too. That said, that is not something that exists in the left. Once a villain, always a villain, but that's only if you have the wrong politics. If you have the right politics, morality is just subjective, actually. Morality is whatever we want it to be.
It's something that the left will never let go. But before we get into that, I want to thank everyone for joining.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
Nux, I can't believe you showed this ad 2 times in a single video. Why? Do you have a hard time looking at it? Are you gay? You gay? Oh, God.
Sydney Sweeney has great genes.
So if you guys will remember, that was one among many of the ads that Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle campaign ended up featuring it, and they all basically concluded with the pun of Sydney Sweeney has great genes, even though they're talking about the genes that they're selling, G-E-A-N-S, but it obviously implies that they're saying G-E-N-E-S. And the reason they were doing this is not because
she has big boobs.
Trying to signal to the white supremacists out there, the evil white racists that are hiding under every rock. It's because Sydney Sweeney is an attractive woman.
Correct.
She is known for certain assets, and among those assets are her stunning personality and obviously her acting ability, or whatever we're even talking about. So obviously that ended up triggering a bunch of people on the left, because for years in this country they have been pushing the idea that white women being viewed as attractive, attractive women being viewed as attractive is actually evil white supremacist beauty standards.
I mean, it's honestly, it's more of a patriarchy thing, I think. You know, for forever, this whole idea of and white supremacy, the whole idea of toppling the evil white man has become like a mainstay of leftist ideology. Because again, it's victim Olympics over there. The bigger victim, the better, right? If you are a crippled transgender, you are probably inherently a better person than anyone else, except for Zohran Mamdani's aunt. She's at the top because, you know, after 9/11 happened, the biggest tragedy was that Zohran Mamdani, his aunt, got dirty looks on the subway.
And this is one of the reasons why you've seen in recent years them pushing obese models and pushing brands like Victoria's Secret to embrace larger and larger models. And if you guys will recall, if you guys will remember, they actually ended up suspending the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and they did all sorts of other things in order to promote this body positivity movement. But in reality, what that ultimately ended up doing was tanking a bunch of different brands, because rather than having models that look like your everyday people so people can see themselves represented as models, what actually ended up happening is that brands that were meant to be sexy, that were meant to be aspirational, all of a sudden became the brands for fat girls. So it wasn't, oh, Victoria's Secret is made for me, I'm a much larger woman. All of a sudden, Victoria's Secret was the fat girl brand, rather than, oh, that model is super sexy, and if I wear that lingerie or that bra or that panty combo, then I will also feel that way. Again, they lost that aspirational goal. So consider,
I mean, that's kind of the idea. What's the point of a woman looking sexy? I mean, obviously, I know that, listen, I know my woman tells me that, you know, women like looking sexy for themselves. And I do think that that is true. But I do think that one of the largest reasons for why women like looking sexy is because men look at them. I know that this is, and by the way, for the record, this was proven correct over time in this discussion between me and my lovely, beautiful, fantastic women, where we did in fact come to the conclusion that actually it is pretty nice to look beautiful for other people also, and not just for yourself, like society tells you. So I think that one of the major purposes of this entire, you know, branding is because they're trying to tell you you're supposed to look beautiful for yourself, not that you're supposed to look beautiful for your husband. I think that ultimately is the main reason why this was pushed so far in these woke ads, is because, you know, if you're a fat girl, well, you should wear this and you will look beautiful for you. Not for anyone else. No one else wants to look at you, to be honest, because you're a fat walrus, but you'll look beautiful for you. And that's much more important than looking beautiful for your husband, who loves you and will take care of you. That's, I think, where this major dividing line started from. It came from this anti-husband, anti-monogamy, anti-heterosexual marriage archetype, when you look at gay ads, the guys that they use in gay shit are always attractive. When they put lesbians in advertisements, they're always attractive, even though in reality, most lesbians look like Rocksteady and Bebop from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right? Not trying to cast aspersions here, but that's like... Dude, when I see a lesbian walking down the street, I know she's a lesbian, okay? I do. I know it from the lipstick that's used, from the piercings they have, and from the fact that half of her head is shaved, all right? I know you're not supposed to stereotype, but of course we stereotype. We're human. Human stereotype. Pattern recognition is a survival instinct. God damn it. The point that I'm trying to make is, it's all about the messaging that's given. It's sexy to be a lesbian. That's what they're trying to tell you when they make ads like that. And when they use, like, you know, obese, crippled women as advertisements for lingerie, they're trying to tell you that you're supposed to look beautiful for yourself. You're not supposed to look beautiful for a husband. And I think that's the really destructive force that they're trying to put into the world.
During the failure of all those different various campaigns that we've talked about multiple times on this channel, Sydney Sweeney being chosen as the model for American Eagle jeans just made sense because, again, people were trying to go back to an aspirational view. Again, Sydney Sweeney's hot, Sydney Sweeney's attractive, so people would feel like, okay, if I bought those jeans, those are the jeans that attractive people wear, so I will feel more attractive if I get said jeans, rather than, again, obese people making you feel like those clothes or for fat people. So it's really all that simple. It was not meant to be a racial signal or anything of the sort. However, the left's open hatred for white people, the fact that they don't like people with light hair and blue eyes, obviously made it about that, and they've been attacking Sydney Sweeney ever since, and people on the right have been defending her.
Thanks, Sweeney, 28!
As this champion of right-wing values, even though, again, in other contexts, people on the right would be against over-sexualization.
Correct.
But this is where the left...
Correct. I don't like on a personal level, I would never marry someone like Sydney Sweeney. And if I was given the option, and I wasn't very, very happy the way I am right now, I would never marry someone like Sydney Sweeney. Because I personally think that she's, well, let's just say... kind of a whore. Not trying to be rude here. I do kind of, like, on a personal level, that's not someone that I want to spend my life with. Realistically, I don't. I'm glad that she's normal and she's not retarded and she's not like a whore, but she is out there selling her body for money, realistically. And I'm not gonna make believe that that's not the case. However, it's the fact that ultimately one side of the aisle is into understanding other perspectives and, you know, bridging gaps. The right. The left is like, you have to think exactly like me or we will literally shoot you in the neck.
Has basically moved the culture, in my opinion. Essentially, they have tried to tell us for so long that ugly is beautiful that it is now becoming a right-wing position to say no.
No, I think it's awesome that beautiful things are inherently right-wing. It's like the Hassan Piker ad that the New York Times did. Hassan Piker, is he a left-wing guy in a MAGA body? Because, you know, he's tall and fit. It's like, are you just implying that beauty and fitness is a right-wing thing? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. If you're a fat, ugly schlorb that hates yourself, well, the left is the perfect place for you because they're going to make believe that it's good to be a fat, ugly schlorb.
Attractive people are attractive.
I did a jean ad. I mean, the reaction definitely was a surprise, but it was, I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. I'm literally in jeans and a t-shirt. Like,
No! Jeans are uncontroversial. Jeans are awesome.
I like your jeans.
You look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean,
so this part of the interview starts off with her saying, oh, are you surprised by the reaction? Are you shocked and horrified by the reaction that people had? You know, people like her, the interviewer, that were probably retweeting all these anti-Sydney Sweeney posts. True. And Sydney responds by saying, I did a jean ad. Like, that's it. It should have been that simple. And yeah, she was surprised by the reaction, but
I love how there are still normal people. Like, every time I go online and I see all these retards, you know, spazzing over random bullshit. It's so nice to ground myself and remember that there are actually still normal people out there.
Obviously, we understand where this conversation is going. She's basically going to ask Sydney Sweeney without saying those exact words.
Dude, I was just talking to God bless the woman in my life who's awesome in every way. She's amazing. She makes me a better, happier person. And she's not terminally online, which is even better. And I was talking to her about like Zoran Mamdani winning the election in New York, and she's like, bro, she was going crazy on that guy. It was wild. She's like, people don't actually think that it's a smart idea to elect like a radical Muslim communist to New York, right? And I'm like, yeah. And did you know that 80% of the voters were liberal white women? And she's like, bro, what happened to women? It's so sad. It's so sad. It's diabolical.
Words to basically disavow everybody that supported her, including the evil Orange Man, because Orange Man bad, white people bad, and you need to apologize for being an attractive woman that people find attractive while also being a white person.
The president tweeted about the jeans ad, or truth about the jeans ad.
I love how she's laughing to like get the edge off the fact that she is trying to cancel you. Sydney Sweeney, pay attention. This lady is trying to cancel you, and she's laughing to make you not notice.
And that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal. And it would be totally human. I would probably feel like thankful that somebody had my back in public, you know, and conveniently some very powerful people had my back in public. And I wondered if you felt that way.
I don't think that
Dude, every one of these questions is such a trap if you think about it. Like if she would have just said yes, it would imply that she's just endorsing Trump.
it's not that that feeling I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, or like of any of it. I kind of just put my phone away. I was filming every day. I'm filming Euphoria, so I'm working like 16-hour days, and I don't really bring my phone on set, so I work and then I go home and I go to sleep.
So the next question right here from this GQ lady is to bring up the evil Orange Man, backing her up and backing up her ad. And I will just point out for everybody out there in the audience that the Trump response to the Sydney Sweeney controversy was legitimately one of the funniest Trump moments that we've had in recent years, where somebody said, hey, Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican.
Dude, Trump, I'm telling you, man, that dude is iconic as fuck.
And Trump, being the most transactional man on the planet, said, oh, well, if she's a Republican, then I love her ad.
Not speaking that she's just a Republican. Any thoughts?
That who was?
Sydney Sweeney. She's like a very hot actress right now.
She's a registered Republican? Yeah. Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney? You'd be surprised at how many people are Republicans.
Yeah, the majority of the country, it seems.
That's what I wouldn't have known, but I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, but for the record, the fact that we know that she's a registered Republican means that she did an ad for jeans, an innocuous nothing, and some radical left retard doxed her. All right, you have to understand the context here.
Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican. I think her ad is fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
But again, notice how this GQ woman is framing it. She's like, oh, wow, it's totally understandable that you have one of the most powerful people and all these powerful people defending you. I mean, isn't that amazing? I could understand that you would accept aid from the evil Orange Man, but obviously the implication is that Sydney Sweeney bad, and the fact that bad people ended up defending her also makes her even worse by proxy. And of course, she's pushing her to disavow this. And Sydney Sweeney, to her credit, doesn't apologize. She's like, I did a gene ad, and she's like, what? Like, I'm not.
I really feel like this is just the normal human being response. That's the craziest part.
Really paying attention to all this internet stuff. I'm actually working. I'm doing a job, and again, I did a jeans commercial.
You've made a really good case for keeping your thoughts and your life separate from that work. But the risk is that, you know, there's a chance that somebody will get some idea about what you think about certain issues and feel like...
Dude, who cares if people will get an impression that I think something? Why is this a crime? Like, literally, who cares? All right, I it's so frustrating because for me personally, I really don't care. All right, I really don't care about almost what anyone says about me at this point. I've been slandered by leftists. I've been harassed. People have tried to dox me. Constantly. I had to move multiple times. I got swatted. All right, people don't realize the amount of shit that I get for just existing and saying my opinion on the internet. And I'm never gonna stop. And you know, unless I get assassinated. Silly. That's silly. No conservative commentator would get assassinated, right? But the reality of the matter is, I don't care, and neither should anyone else. All right, you know what you should care about? You should care that your children think highly of you. You should care that your spouse thinks highly of you. All right, you should care that your parents are honored by you. All right, you know, stuff like that. That matters. What doesn't matter? Retards. Retards don't matter.
I don't want to see Christy because of that. Like, do you worry about that?
No. If somebody...
No, fuck you.
If somebody is closed off because of something they read online to a powerful story like Christy, then I hope something else can open their eyes to being open to art and being open to learning, and I'm not gonna be affected by that.
So again, this is the way that the left enforces ideological subjugation of people like Sydney Sweeney. They say, oh, well, you're promoting this movie. That is ostensibly the purpose of this entire interview. But like, don't you feel like the fact that you did this ad and then there's a reaction and you didn't immediately disavow yourself and apologize and come groveling to these people that hate you for being attractive, hate you based on the color of your skin, hate you based on the fact that you are both an attractive person and a white person? Don't you think it's really sad that some people will boycott your movie? Again, she's subtly putting it out there that somehow her movie is deserving of being boycotted because people don't understand that good jeans for a hot woman while selling jeans is a basic pun and not a secret Nazi dog whistle.
I mean, the reality is this is definitely trying to dog whistle some sort of boycott. It really is. It's like, but people might think badly of you and boycott your movie?
Or anything absurd like that. And Sydney ends up responding by saying, well, if you're closed off based on internet comments, then I hope something else will change your mind, because again, she's trying to promote the movie, but simultaneously she is refusing to back down, refusing to apologize in a very polite and smiley way that again actually exposes more about the interviewer than it does about her.
If she would have gotten like offended or whatever and said, I refuse to apologize, that would have been much less powerful than just literally just smiling and be like, no, I don't actually care. It's just so much more diabolical when you hit them with the polite fuck off instead of the righteous angry fuck off.
Yeah, you've come here like really willing to talk about this whole discourse that doesn't have that much to do with you.
Yeah, that I brought up myself. I'm so grateful that you're willing to talk about all this that I brought up that I didn't need to bring up because that's not relevant that I did anyway.
And I'm grateful for that. Is there something that you want to say about the ad itself?
Oh my God, she doesn't stop!
Do you have...
The ad spoke for itself.
You think the ad spoke for itself? Okay, and the criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political...
Have anything to say? No. Are you sure? Yes. Any extra commentary you want to add? No. I'm going to explain the controversy to you. All right? I'm going to explain why it looks like you support Hitler. Okay, I'm going to explain it in black on white terms.
Like, white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority.
Why?
Like, that was kind of like the criticism,
Why?
broadly speaking. And since you are...
Look, Ben, I made a joke earlier, so I'm already going to get canceled, so I'll just say it again. I am, in fact, genetically superior to a quarter of people from Turkey because over 25% of Turks are inbred. So I am, in fact, genetically superior to most Turkish people. Well, maybe not most, but like a solid chunk of Turkish people. Like a sizable amount. Like Hassan Piker, definitely. That dude's inbred for sure. Absolutely. Cenk Younger, he's inbred. I'm genetically superior to him. I'm not saying that obviously we should be culling the inferiors or anything like that. That's fucked up. That's eugenics. I don't support any of that. But I am, in fact, genetically superior. That's just a fact. And culturally. I'm genetically and culturally superior to the Turks. You know they torture dogs?
Talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
Again, ignore the friendly tone, ignore the smile,
Agreed.
Ignore all that.
That's all smoke and mirrors.
That nonsense. What you're seeing right here is the evil way the left-wing media ends up forcing ideological rigidity, because she's like, oh yeah, like, you know, is there something you want to say? Let me just open the floor. I'm giving you the opportunity, Sydney Sweeney, acting like the...
And then she says no. I think the important thing is she's like, no, nothing to add. All right, but the ad was offensive. Yeah, no, the ad spoke for itself. It was all right. Nothing offensive. Let me explain to you the interpretation immediately.
Famous actress isn't actually highlighting her stupid ass show for GQ magazine, and in reality the exact opposite is happening right here. She's getting an opportunity to interview somebody that's more famous.
Correct.
She's like,
I am doing you a favor, GQ magazine. Dude, the media is going to be completely irrelevant soon. Anyway, like, you're one of the last interviews. The media is going to be irrelevant. Sydney Sweeney would unironically do better promoting her movie on podcasts. She would get more publicity on my show here on Nuxanor. All right, I don't even do that type of stuff, but she would, I don't know, get a couple 100,000 views probably, and that would be unironically more viewed than whatever interview she's doing, unless the point is actually getting a clip that goes viral or something. But like, it's not even close.
Opportunity. If there's anything you want to say about this particular ad, if there's anything you want to speak up on right now, I'm providing you my platform, Sydney, and I'm so smiley while I'm doing it so that you could disavow your work. And Sydney's like, no, I have nothing that I want to say about this.
Yeah, no, I don't care.
And then she pushes back even harder, and she's like, in this political climate, isn't it horrible that you're a white person and talking about how you have good genes? I mean, white supremacy, am I right? Am I right, Sydney? Are you going to do that, or we're going to boycott boycott your movie. I mean, some people might not see your movie. Not that we're explicitly encouraging it, even though, again, we're spending the latter half of this interview bitching about your commercial.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
And right here, Sydney Sweeney completely shuts it down. And it's funny because if you go into the comments of this particular interview, I'm assuming there is the typical GQ audience, and they're saying, oh, she missed an opportunity to save herself right there when they brought up the white supremacy thing. But in reality, she...
No, you know what a lot of people are saying on Twitter? I just showed you that one that now I think she's actually racist. That's like, I used to think that maybe she wasn't actually racist and she just did an ad and didn't notice that there were racist dog whistles. But it's literally so easy to just say, I disavow white supremacy. Why didn't she just say, I disavow white supremacy? It's literally so easy for her to say Nazis bad, but she refused to say Nazis bad. Now she's a real Nazi. This is the game they always play, and the reason why you can't feed into it is because otherwise they will kill you. So you literally can't even feed into this stuff. That's why the response is fuck off, I don't care what you think, every single time. And people get mad at stuff like this. Like, there was recently a Republican group chat that got leaked with where they made like a lot of racist jokes in a private group chat, and someone leaked all of that. My reaction to that is, I don't care. I really don't care about a group chat. I really don't care about a group chat. Like, not even a little bit. I'm sorry. You just elected Jay Jones to be the Attorney General of Virginia, and that dude literally has privately said that he wanted to murder Republicans and their fascist babies, and you elected him to become the Attorney General. I don't care about a group chat of college guys making racist jokes. I don't. I just don't care. You assassinated Charlie Kirk and celebrated his death. I don't care. I don't care. So that's ultimately, I think, what the going forward response really needs to be. The fuck off response, I think, is A, effective as shit, and B, it's important. Now, it's not an endorsement of white supremacy that she didn't want to say that she didn't want to go out there and disavow white supremacy. But I fully support this mentality. You can never cave. You can never cave to people that are liars and disingenuous. Never cave to the communists, baby.
Handled it perfectly fine. She said, look, if there's something that I want to say, if I want to talk about political issues or whatever, then I'll say it. But I'm not going to backpedal. This is the implication, because she said basically what I just said right there. But I'm not going to backtrack and like downgrade this campaign that I was on that was actually quite successful just because you people have an issue with her being an attractive white woman. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. And again, all these different ridiculous smears are part of the left's ideological enforcement against people like Sydney Sweeney, who might stray out of line just a little bit, even if she's not actually right-wing in any possible way. And this is how they enforce that ideology. This is how they make people bend the knee and comply with what they want by consistent attacks on her. Like, Sydney Sweeney will be hearing about this in 10 years.
It'll never go away. Never.
A la the Chick-fil-A story, there will still be people complaining about it, even though there was nothing wrong with the ad.
And every single time, you know how this narrative evolves. In 10 years, they'll say, Sydney Sweeney, you promoted white supremacy and you had 10 years to apologize, and you didn't. That's how the story is going to go, and that's how it's going to evolve every single time. And it's never going to end.
She's attractive.
That's why the response needs to not just be fuck off, but it needs to be an eternal, forever fuck off. That needs to be the response forever. And we need to stand up for people that are trying to destroy people for stuff like this. And I fully support the fuck off ideology. I really do. I really do. All right? If I did something illegal, I should go to jail. If I didn't do something illegal, fuck off, man. Now, you have the right to criticize, absolutely. And I have the right to not care. And I think that that's literally America 101. Freedom of speech, baby. Just shut up. I don't care.
If saying somebody has good genes or
Dude,
one that...
I'm getting canceled. I got canceled. Every time I make a tweet now, it goes super viral because people hate me. And people are threatening my life constantly on Twitter. I don't think you're aware. But go to my tweets. Look at the quote retweets. It's all just death threats and stuff like that. Now, I don't care. Obviously, I don't want someone to assassinate me. But I do not care. And I'm not going to back down, and I'm not going to apologize, and I'm not going to sit there and cry about how, in reality, I went too far and I said too much. I don't care. I do not care. Fuck off. That's my response.
Lottery is just saying that they are attractive. It's not a racial thing at all whatsoever, yet these people will go out of their way to pretend it is because their view of beauty, that it's something that they can make by enforcement in the culture, just happens.
Yeah, he's completely right. He is completely and utterly correct. They again, in my opinion, it's because they don't believe that beauty, an attractive woman, is meant to attract a man. They believe that an attractive woman is supposed to be happy and comfortable with themselves, whatever they look like. And it's because of that false ideology that they are gay and retarded. So I just went to Twitter to prove my point exactly. So I made this tweet, which is completely correct. Trump was almost assassinated and leftists were sad the shooter missed. Luigi Mangione murdered a man in cold blood. He became a hero. Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Leftists celebrated his murder. Virginia Attorney General candidate fantasized about murdering conservatives and their little fascist children to receive waves of support and no condemnation. Zoran Mamdani allies himself with terrorists, became the mayor of New York City. Activist judges are releasing violent repeat offenders and rioters that assault police officers and are releasing them from prisons. They want to kill you, not just on the fringe. It is the mainstream winning strategy. Plan accordingly. And I will not exaggerate. This tweet got 25,000 likes, as you can see. People agree because it's correct. However, this got 5.4 million views because of the tens of thousands of retweets wanting me dead. I pulled up just one as an example because it's the first one that popped up. Taku, pedophile, by the way. All right, so this is direct slander that straight comes from Hassan, and no one's surprised. This guy literally calls himself a communist, ladies and gentlemen. This is a communist. All right, so Taku, pedophile, by the way, direct slander. I'm not a pedophile. And like, there's nothing to say because there's no like actual allegation even. Like, you can't even like address something and prove that it's wrong because there's nothing to even address. It is actually a non-existent allegation. This is not a real thing at all by any metric. You could look it up on any AI. All right, look it up anywhere. All right, no. Twitch is hentai, which it is because Twitch is basically a softcore porn site. His Israeli cousin somewhere after stepping on a landfill to see an unprotected minor. This is a reference to the fact that I have a Israeli relative that was murdered by Hamas terrorists on October 7th. So again, this 30,000 likes, 400,000 views. This is what I deal with every single day. By the way, I just searched my name and this just popped up. For the record, this is everywhere. And I get tens of thousands of violent tweets targeted at me every day. And I just want to let you know, fuck off. I do not care. I don't care. I literally don't care. Thank you for the content. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, man.